Okay, there's the card that I did as the sample. And this, we usually see DSP here or whatever. And I saw this, like I said, on Facebook, and it's called the paint chip method. Now, I used 3 colors because I had 3 colors in purple, but you can do this with as many colors as you have. If you have 4, do 4, just adjust the size. But I think it's a nice addition to the edge, and it gives it something different. And you still have plenty of space in here to write, because you can write on both sides. So let's see how to do this. And it's really not hard, but it does involve some fussy cutting. And I had to pull this down a little bit more. I have to figure out how high up I can go. I should be good there. There. All right, so the first thing you're going to start with, and I'm using in a different set and colors to give you another idea. Thanks, Marty. You're going to start with your piece of, I use Whisper White. You could use Very Vanilla. This would look gorgeous with fall leaves down the side. All right, so I've got that. I pulled the Fern from the Daisy set because that's the set I'm using today. Where's my, oh, I left it over on my table, I think. Yes, I'm actually using the Daisy Lane set, the Fern and the 2 flowers. So, and then I wanted pinks and a green, so I've pulled in Mint Macaron. And this one, there's a little bit more here, especially in here, so I can go closer to the edge. So I'm going to go a little closer to the edge here. All right, and I'm going to stamp the 1. Now, you do want to go off, and I'm going to have this one hopefully touch that bottom. Yeah. And then, oh, I got to pull in a paper because I'll get it on my, like so. And you can vary it. So now I've got my edge stamped. And the next thing, and I thought I grabbed ribbon and I didn't. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to take this image that you've stamped and you're just going to cut it. And I'm going to do some simple cutting. I will do some zigzaggy type things if I can get it in there. But you're just going to cut around the edge. If you have a leaf that's a little bit more defined, you can use it. But you just follow it. Now, I'm not going to go all the way in there because that's going to make it a little too close that it could rip. So, and see how if I kind of zigzag it, it gives it a little bit more interest on the wavy edges. So, kind of follows the leaves too, a little bit. Of course, when they're tiny like this, you can't do a whole lot. All right, and then you're going to go all the way up, like so. All right, so we've got our edge cut. Thanks, Linda. Hey, good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. All right, so there's our edge. Now we need to do our paint chips. And I will tell you, when I did this one, I put the top one and the bottom one on and did the spacing, thinking that I would have the same spacing here. Nope, it didn't work that way. So what I'm going to do with this one is I've pulled 3 pinks. I pulled Blushing Bride. I think this one is, it's not Magenta Madness, Polished Pink. And this one is Melon Mambo. These are very close in size, and the measurements will be posted afterwards. So they should be this way, and these can be cut smaller if you don't think you need the space. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the one in the middle, and I'm going to put it down. All right, So let's see. Boom, 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 boom. So right about there. So if I put it there, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. All right, so it goes right about there. And you want it even with the edge, like so. And you want your colors variegated. So when you put these down, put them down either light to dark or dark to light. All right, now this one I'm going to put on, and I'm going to center it and have my white space even. So these could probably be a little bit smaller. So when you do this, keep that in mind that you may not need all that space. And this one is going to be better because the spaces are even. And see how that really highlights that edge? So now we're ready to decorate. And I'm going to move this out of the way so I have some space to stamp. I'm going to use Melon Mambo, and I'm going to do some off stamping. So I'm going to pull in my scrap paper. All right, because I don't want this too dark. All right, I'm going to go for 3. So 1, 2, there's 1. Now with these, you want to stamp it so the petals go north and south. That way you have, it's easy to punch it. All right, and I'm going to stamp the other one. Hopefully that's in there. Yep. And then I'm going to use the little one. And I think I'm only going to stamp it once. Let's see what it looks like. Yeah, only because it'll give it a little bit of interest. Since I stamped the edge of that and it was really kind of decorative, all I added was a sentiment. I thought this time I would do it and add a punched element to the edge. All right, so let me pull in this punch and you'll see what I mean. You're going to slide this in and see how easy this lines up if you keep your petals going north to south. All you basically have to do is get it. And I will tell you, this punch is hard, and it's because it's got so many little pieces. I have a feeling this set and punch are going to retire, which will make me very sad because I love my daisies. But not much I can do about it. Maybe they'll keep the punches and come out with a new set. Who knows? It'll be interesting to see what goes and what stays. All right. And this can be done with any flower punch that you have and leaves. All right, now, to give my flower some added interest, I'm going to take and I'm going to curl my petals down for 2 of them, the 2 big ones. And the smallest one that's in the middle, I'm going to curl up. And that just kind of gives it a little bit of interest. All right. So here we go, almost done. And then you want to layer these, and I layer them with dimensionals because I want, oh, here's a little tiny one that escaped. Oh, it's still stuck to me. I'd cut down one. I needed a little tiny piece. So I'm going to turn and I'm going to put, and I know you're thinking, why aren't you putting a whole one in there since you're using 2? But here is why. If you put a whole one in there, your edges, see how I've got a lot of edge here? When you do the whole one in there without cutting it down, you don't get that. And I feel it gives it more stability. Now I'm going to put this one on, but I'm offsetting it slightly, but I'm not worried about the open spaces because this one is going to go on, and this one only needs one little one in the middle, and it's going to fill in those spaces like so. All right. And it's filled those spaces in. So this is ready to go onto our card. So I'm going to pull in some dimensionals. I got to cut some. And I thought I had pulled a ribbon, but I guess I forgot. So I'll have to find a ribbon to add. Not sure which one. I'll have to look and see what I have. All right. Or maybe I'll just add the flower and a sentiment. I'm going to put the flower at the bottom like so. I think I'm going to get the hello, and I'm going to stamp the hello, and I'll stamp it in the melon mambo. And I'm going to stamp it, I think I'm going to stamp it there. Let me make sure this is straight. Like so. And you know what? I'm going to add some gems. I want some sparkle. So let me see. I have been using up my, look at my pieces of rhinestones. Oh my gosh, I've got pieces of them everywhere. I have a tendency to use up all of one, like this one. The only thing left on here are the big ones. So I'm going to put one big one right there in the center of that flower. We had the perfect gems a few years ago. And, all right. And I'll put one here. And I think I'll do a medium size. These are all little. And this is, I think, the last package I have. And that's all I'm going to do because it's the 3. The last package I have where they're joined. So I think the packages I have now are all. Oh, thanks, Marty. So there it is. One with a ribbon and one with gems. Now you could easily add a ribbon over here, but I think it would look better if it was a narrow ribbon. And the only thing I could do would be to take the, yes, definitely. Thanks, Ray. And dye the wrinkled seam binding, and that would be it. So, but there it is.